A force for change or forced changes? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 ways Disney altered Star Wars forever.
You, stay here. We need to check your diagnostics.
Diagnostics?
For this list, we're going over the changes made by Disney to the Star Wars franchise. Number 10. Too much humor.
Wipe that nervous expression off your face, 3PO.
Well, I will certainly try, General.
The Star Wars movies are no stranger to comedy, or even shoehorn jokes if everyone's reaction to Jar Jar Binks is any indication. But Disney went a little overboard, at least with The Last Jedi. While The Force Awakens and Rogue One do have quite a few gags and funny lines, they look positively dry by comparison to The Last Jedi, which noticeably amps up the comedy, likely taking some cues from Disney's success with the MCU's humor.
Impressive. Every word in that sentence was wrong.
However, many felt that the humor detracted from otherwise dramatic moments, diffusing the tension and detracting from the weight of several scenes. Still, we like laughing as much as the next folks. Number 9. Untested Directors. With a few exceptions, the new Star Wars films directors have had relatively few movies to their names prior to directing entries in such a big franchise. While some of their work has been well received, and it's always good to see lesser-known directors' talent be recognized, several of the new films have proved divisive and/or over budget, and many have questioned whether these issues would have arisen with more experienced directors at the helm. While big-name directors may be more expensive upfront, the results may be worth the investment. Disney seems to be leaning in this direction, given that they let Colin Trevorrow go. Number 8. No one person in charge.
You guys, how does someone become a member of the Lucasfilm Story Group? I mean, I've been doing my research, but, you know.
On a related note, while Star Wars in the past was largely overseen by George Lucas, these days, no one person is in charge of continuity and the direction of the franchise. While some with a lower opinion of Lucas and his recent work, prequels, may applaud this fact, the downside is that the franchise no longer has a consistent tone or voice. Now, the story of Star Wars is created via a committee or else by directors. Although this does give voice to more ideas and possibilities, many of them compete or contradict one another, which can be tough to acclimatize to after decades of Lucas's vision.
This is stuff that we've been working on for years and years and years, and to finally let people see it is incredible.
Number 7. Retconning most of the expanded universe.
And the EU has been our attempt to take you into areas that aren't explored in the movies and give you much more depth.
Between the releases of the original films and the prequels, an expanded universe of Star Wars material began to take shape, both continuing the story of Luke, Leia, Han, and the gang, as well as increasing the scope of the universe at large through print, video games, and other media. However, upon acquiring the Star Wars license, Disney and the new folks at Lucasfilm struck most of these stories from canon. While it's a common practice in comics, in order to keep things fresh and accessible to new fans, older Star Wars fans reacted with less than open arms. Well, at least we still have Thrawn.
And I would like to keep it that way. Admiral Constantine.
Number 6. New genres and tones.
If it's war you want, you'll fight alone.
While Star Wars has its own unique blend of fantasy space opera action, most of the franchise's time on the big screen has stayed within the bounds of its genre. Recent films like Rogue One and Solo have gone outside those boundaries to tell stories in the war and heist genres. Although some would prefer more of the same, the opportunity to show different shades of the Star Wars universe is something we definitely applaud, even if it hasn't always been a resounding success thus far.
Watch it!
Number 5. Returning to practical effects.
This is incredible.
When the prequel trilogy was made, George Lucas leaned hard into digital effects, in part because new advancements at the time allowed for the creation of previously impossible to realize characters and concepts. However, the trade-off was that the abundance of CGI made the worlds feel somewhat hollow and less grounded. Disney has returned more towards the franchise's roots by using more practical effects, both through sets and in creature makeup and prosthetics, while also blending them with CGI to create a largely happier medium between the media. That's not to say that some of the digital stuff doesn't look fake, though.
What is it they've sent us?
Help.
Number 4. Killing the past.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Disney has certainly followed Kylo Ren's advice. Or maybe it's the other way around? Regardless, Disney has been doing a lot to kill off aspects of Star Wars' past. Sometimes literally. Whether it's old characters or old conceptions of what Star Wars is, as we've seen with their exploration of new genres and the dissolution of the previously expanded universe, Disney has been working hard to redefine Star Wars. Sure, The Rise of Skywalker does its best to undo some of this by bringing things full circle with the original trilogy, but even the Force can't heal everything, we think.
Confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi.
Number 3. Anthology Films.
May the Force be with us.
While Disney isn't exactly innovating by telling Star Wars stories outside of the primary saga, they are the first to deliver those kinds of stories to the big screen. These anthology films, as we've already mentioned, are free to explore other tones than the main series, but they're also able to expand upon the Star Wars universe while giving focus to certain characters or ideas that aren't given as much focus in the primary storyline.
You look good. A little rough around the edges, but good.
Although the future of these anthology movies appears to be in jeopardy, we hope they won't give up on trying to tell new stories. Besides, they can't be much worse than the Ewoks.
Can't keep me down.
Number 2. Altering or canceling expanded media.
And our job it is to remember that we will, in time, also pass on.
In addition to changing the canonicity of the non-mainstream Star Wars stories, Disney's also changed or removed the means by which they're told. The company has closed down divisions responsible for creating Star Wars video games and comics, outsourced them, or else reassigned them to companies under their umbrella like Marvel instead. Disney was also responsible for the cancellation of the Clone Wars to make way for Star Wars Rebels, which it produced and which was more kid-friendly. Still, they did choose to revive the Clone Wars, so the cuts haven't all been permanent.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Oversaturating the Market.
We need a pilot!
We've got one!
With the first 2 Star Wars trilogies, it was a movie every 3 years. Okay, there was the holiday special and some short-lived shows, but when a Star Wars property dropped, it was an event. Since Disney acquired the iconic space opera franchise, though, it's been a movie every year, as well as TV shows galore, a theme park, so much merch it arguably borders on exploitative. Heck, they've even got the guy who played Jar Jar hosting a kids' game show. Plenty of fans are feeling franchise fatigue. Solo, anyone?
I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But I accept it.
Some believe the tighter deadlines negatively affect overall quality. While the movie every year trend is slowing down, Disney will likely continue oversaturating the market with Star Wars until it stops making money, ironically making each new property that much less special. What was that?
Not now, lovey. On the road.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.